Good to see so many of you, and if you have a chance, please activate your video. We could greet each other.
Show your beautiful faces.
Welcome to our Creative Lab Celebrations of Light. This is our second session where we come together for a beautiful journey that Daniela will take us. And today I welcome you from Lifebridge Sanctuary in upstate New York. Some of you have been here, some of you will be here one day. And so at this festive time, we celebrate light together again and again. Thank you. So Daniela, where are you taking us today?
Thank you, Alexander, and super warm welcome to everybody. So today we will be, sorry, I'm having difficulty problem. Okay, technical problems. Today we will be journeying to Egypt. And before we do, I actually just want to repeat, I'm not a scholar. The information there will be information I will be sharing, but it's mostly experience and mostly gathered in what can be called sacred journeying. So don't take what I'm saying as any kind of fact. It's in a way one can say that all is true, and even something can be real, out of which I will be sharing. And so, Horus. Horus' invitation and teachings is about harmony, gained through the reconciliation of the opposites. Horus, the god Horus, is represented by a hawk, and he's showing us how to see both sides of a story and how to see clearly in any situation and through any illusion. That is his message, his invitation, and his teaching. And maybe you already saw such a comparison between what is called the eye of Horus and the parts of our brains. And I think it's interesting that the god Horus, who is represented by this eye, is about seeing clearly, right? And this part in our brain seems to be in charge of seeing clearly. The birth of Horus was, again, interestingly celebrated on 25th of December. And exactly the same date when was celebrated the birth of God Ra, so the sun god. The mother of sun god of Ra is Nut. She is the sky goddess, and her entire body is actually enveloping the sky, and her body contains all the stars. And so in this image here, we see that Nut swallows the sun in the evening and then gives birth back to him in the morning. So that's Ra's mother. On the other hand, Horus' mother is Isis or Isis. And his father is Osiris, who we see here on the throne, and there are two sisters behind him, one Isis and her sister Nephthys, and I will talk a bit more about them later on. So we cannot really tell Horus' story without telling the story of his parents. And the story says that amongst other numerous children, Goddess Nut gave birth to 4 brothers and sisters. So from left to right, we have Osiris, or Osiris, Isis, Nephthys, and Set. The story goes that already in love in their mother's womb, Osiris and Isis, once they came into adult life, they married and they ruled Egypt. Prosperity was in Egypt. Their rulership and government was enlightened. Egypt was in peace, and her people were content and evolving. But of course, their brother Set, the evil brother, did not like his second position in the kingdom and in the minds and the hearts of the people. And so he jealously tried to get rid of his brother again and again. And after multiple trials, Set finally succeeded in killing Osiris. And to make sure that he cannot come back again, the story goes that Set cut Osiris in pieces and into 13 pieces and scattered them all over Egypt. So there are many, many stories recounting this and the subsequent events. But we will hop right to this glorious resolution with the intention to bring her beloved back. Isis searches everywhere along the Nile, the story goes. And it says as well, the legend, that in every place she found a piece, a temple was built. And she recovers all the pieces of Osiris but one. So that doesn't stop her. That is to say that she didn't find all the pieces. And helped by her sister Nephthys, she brings Osiris back into life. And during a short time they had for their reunion, they engendered Horus. And so, looking briefly at the symbology of the story, there are 2 couples in the story, Isis and Osiris, and Nephthys and Set, representing the dark and the light, or the light for Isis and Osiris and dark for Set and Nephthys. And as from one point of view, they could be regarded as one being, Isis and Nephthys, and Osiris and Set, each having their light and dark sides. Another thing is that ancient Egyptians regarded Nile as a reflection of the Milky Way and also as the spine of our planet. And now considering the fact that Osiris' body was scattered all around the Nile, speaks of fertilization of the ideas throughout the body of the planet. And then Osiris resurrects and begets, I think is the word, a child whose mission is to vanquish the dark. For Osiris to resurrect, Isis had to remember him, put his pieces back. And so what happens next? So the first years of Horus' life, he needs to be protected very closely by his mother because his evil uncle is looking for him. And Horus is not yet ready to face him, of course, or to fend for himself. Once an adult, however, he spends a lot of energy and time fighting his uncle. He becomes known as the god of war, as he never wants to stop. He wants to avenge the death of his father. And although nobody ever wins this battle between Horus and Set, Each battle teaches Horus something new. Until one day, the story goes, in a very violent fight, Horus loses one eye. Seeing this, his mother Isis flies to his rescue and gives him with a magical eye, another eye. And so suddenly Horus can and does see two sides of everything that surrounds him. One of his eyes is that of the sun, the other of the moon. One is masculine, the other feminine. He integrates both perspectives of light and the dark, and is therefore able to transcend them. He sees clearly and acts accordingly, and thus sets the path to be followed by all, and especially the kings and pharaohs, for whom he becomes the symbol of enlightenment and benevolent rulership. And indeed, all kings had to become Horus. And it is said that in the temple of Edfu, dedicated to god Horus, was actually a school where future kings would spend a good portion of their life in learning how to be a good governor. So not only did they learn geometry, agriculture, administration, astronomy, they actually needed to become Horus, which included being admitted to the throne of Isis. Here we see a statuette that shows Isis giving milk to child Horus, and the headdress that we see on her head actually represents the throne. And this is where the pharaoh needed to be able to mount to be admitted into his kingship. And so this headdress that we saw on Isis' head distinguishes her from Nephthys, which we see here like a shadow of Isis who is in front. And the headdress of Nephthys is this kind of structure that represents the temple, the Holy of Holies. So where Isis is regarded as a magician, as a queen, Nephthys is the high priestess. Isis is also Sothis, or Sirius, the star Sirius. She's shown as a companion to Orion here, which is regarded to be celestial form of god Osiris. So we have Isis and Osiris in the sky. This text is an excerpt from a poem that describes their love. So in a way, Nephthys is a shadowy one. Sothis is the star, and Isis is the one that connects the two. She is the fully embodied one. So we have a kind of trinity, let's say, the feminine trinity in one goddess. But back to our story, where we find the sacred triad of Osiris in the middle, Isis, and their child, Horus. So, any questions at this point?
Yes, Daniela, I didn't get who is the third lady with Isis and Nephthys?
So there is Isis, Nephthys, who is the high priestess, and Sothis, who is the stellar, actually Sirius, the solar manifestation of Isis. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. For the reminder of our workshop, we will be journeying imaginatively. And this time we will not be only witnessing the celebrations, but we will be actually be an important part of them. And first we will be meeting with the deities in the Osiris temple in Abydos. And then we will go further south to in south of Egypt. And then we'll go to north to become Horus. So first the past and then the future. What you are seeing here is extract from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, such as translated by Normandy Ellis. And this is one of the parts where Osiris is asked to respond. So the idea of this workshop, the basic idea of the workshop is that all who we are here, and more of us probably, actually had one or other or more of past lives in the age of Leo, which is which saw Egyptian culture, but most importantly is that it is an age directly connected with the age we are now entering. It's the question is actually, what can we remember of the seeds we planted in the age of Leo that are useful now in this age? What signs and skills and qualities and all the rest do we carry over from the age of Leo to the present age, or to the beginning of the age of Aquarius? So, of course, past, present, future are like a tree of life whose branches touch its leaves. Sorry, but as you are still subjected to linearity, we will have to start somewhere, and our workshop or sacred journeying will start in the past. That is to say, we will go first to the south, which is our base, and then to the north, to the sphere of possibilities. From what we have already integrated into a new expression, from I am to water of life. And so the journey will be happening into parts. And after the first part, we will make a break, a short pause to possibly write anything that we might want to record as impressions. So if you wish, have something ready to write, pen and paper or a device. Okay, let us close our eyes. Breathe deeply, feeling in both our bellies and our torsos, the high part of our lungs, and breathing out as deeply as we can, as profoundly as we can. Let's allow our breathing to come back to its natural rhythm, And without changing it or controlling it anymore, we follow the air that goes in and out of our bodies. And then we'll pay out attention to the eternal spark that resides in the hearts of our hearts, in the center of our beings. In its holy of holies, there is this eternal spark, which is a part of everything that is the big flame of the universe. And the awareness of this unity, this interconnectedness, makes this spark radiate a profound joy from its center towards outward. And its rays are transforming everything that we are into smiles. Our thoughts are smiling, our emotions, our bodies. Let's just imagine everything smiling. And to nourish even more this joy, smiling joy, we will connect our hearts with the heart of the earth and the heart of the Milky Way. We project rays of love from our hearts upwards and downwards. And at one end, we are welcomed into an embrace of our beautiful planet, who tells us there is nothing to do, nothing to become. We are loved exactly as we are. And on the other end, our consciousnesses are suspended in this vast space where there is no obstacle, no gravity. We are completely free of every and any movement. And yet we feel supported and encouraged and loved. And so we will breathe in into our hearts and bring back our consciousnesses. And we witness their encounter in the holy of our holies, their love for each other, their marriage, their co-creation of who we are. And briefly, we will project our consciousnesses into the future, contacting our future selves, connecting with their heart, and we'll connect with our past and their heart. And we see the energies flowing circularly and connecting present, future, and past, connecting in our hearts. And so we are in Egypt. It is night and we are standing in a desert, in the realm of the goddess who likes the silence. Lifting our gaze, we see the sky full of stars, the goddess Nut, surrounding us and the world completely. Some constellations we recognize, the Pleiades, the Big Dipper. There is this brilliant star whose luminosity intensifies as we watch. Sirius, and her rays pointing towards the belt of Orion. Around us in the dark, slowly we distinguish the shape of sand dunes, some large rocks, bushes. From afar, we see glitches of a Bedouin fire. We are hearing the sounds of the life in the desert, muffled sounds. And really not so far, just a couple of meters in front, is seated a jackal, attentively looking at us. As our eyes lock with his, he smiles, as all dogs can do, but his eyes are radiating intelligence and compassion. And the intensity of his gaze invites us to look closer. He lifts up and begins to walk into the desert, turning his head to keep us in his view, and we understand that we are to follow. Walking in this seemingly desertic environment, we pay attention. The desert is speaking to us, and we listen, and we follow our attentive guide. And soon we find ourselves in front of a large and long staircase leading to the entrance of the Osiris temple in Abydos. We mount slowly the stairs. Each step is bringing us closer to the portal where Anubis awaits us. The jackal god, now in his human-like form, gives us a moment to recollect our intentions. Anubis enters the temple, holding high a lamp to illuminate our passage. The images and hieroglyphs seem to spring in life as we walk by, and we observe, following Anubis further and further into the temple. Anubis stops, and his lamp now illuminates entrances to 7 chapels, each dedicated to a different deity. Just have a look. Anubis steps forward and enters the central door leading to the chapel dedicated to Osiris. Few steps inside, we find ourselves in a large room, the Holy of Holies of the temple. We are surrounded by depictions on the walls of the passages between the states of consciousness, illustrations of the rites of initiation. Anubis exits and leaves us in the darkened room. A glitter on the wall in front calls our attention, and we realize that the wall that seemed blank actually shows stars. A recognizable portion of the night sky shows the constellation of Orion, and following the downward inclination of his belt, we recognize the star Sotis. As we watch, Sotis detaches from the wall and precipitates toward us, a spark that flies around us, throwing a spiral up and down several times. Finally, she makes a longer pause at the level of our hearts, at the level of our eyes, and then places herself above our heads, and we find ourselves bathed in her light. The points of light on the wall in front of us are now extending rays and connecting with other points of light, with each other. Geometrical shapes are appearing. Tetrahedron, cube, octahedron. All that we call platonic solids, something combining to create more complex shapes. Gradually, the lines connecting the different dots are settling, and the contour of a human shape is becoming visible. Osiris' arms are wide open, and he smiles, beckoning us to come closer. From above our heads, Sotis flies forward and passes through what seemed a solid wall just moments before, and is now levitating near Osiris. They are both encouraging us, and we step forward, and forgetting any analysis or evaluation, we pass into a room bathed in a pale blue light. We just passed through a wall. The room is round, There are 6 openings regularly positioned in its walls, through which streams water. The 6 canals are all connected to a pool of water in the center of the room. The atmosphere is serene. We hear sounds of muffled voices, people chanting. It all seems to be coming from very far. And yet we realize that a ceremony is taking place somewhere in the temple, and that we are gifted with an opportunity of a private ritual, direct and privileged communication with Isis and Osiris. Do you know magic? Asked Osiris, his eyes smilingly reminding us that we know him and he knows us. This is not the first time we meet, old friend. As you lock your eyes with him, allowing him to see into you and also you seeing into him, and Sotis begins to speak. She tells Osiris what she knows about you. Just listen. Osiris has 3 more questions for you, and here's the first. Where do you put your energy? In what area of your life do you put most of your energy? As you are answering, Goddess Wajet slowly approaches, bearing in her hands an object that symbolizes your answer and gives it to you. A second question comes from Osiris. What is your vibration? What do you resonate with? Goddess Hathor approaches you, and she also has a gift for you, which symbolizes your answer. You can accept it and receive it. And finally, Osiris asks you a third question. What is anchoring you in this life? What keeps you in this reality? And so Goddess Past this time approaches you and carries the third symbol for you. Osiris looks at you, opens his arms again, and invites you into his presence. Sotis takes her position above your head, and you both surrender to the contact with Osiris' oceanic consciousness. Penetrating into your being, his high frequency is purifying everything that is not really you. Allow yourself to forget all things that happened on the path and remember only the jewels that were created, that you created. Remember the seeds that you are carrying over from lifetime to lifetime. All the rest goes away. Eventually, you feel yourself lighter and lighter until all sensation of gravity disappears and you find yourself levitating in space, looking from above at what your personality is made of. As you gaze upward towards the sky, you realize you are back in your body. You are floating on the surface of a pleasantly refreshing water, watching the sky above that is gradually becoming paler, stars slowly disappearing, and the light of the dawn illumining your surroundings. Gently, you are being carried by a current towards the shore, where awaits you the goddess Isis. She is standing next to a beautiful tree that is brimming with life, its leaves glowing in the rising sun. Isis smiles and offers to help as you pull yourself out of the water. Finding yourself in the embrace between her winged arms, you know that she wants to hear your impressions, and so you both sit under the tree on the shore of an island surrounded by the river Nile. She looks into your eyes and tells you, remember, you are magic. So this is where we will make a little pause. I will put a piece of music on, during which, if you wish so, you can write down your impressions or anything else that you would like to retain from the journey.
oceano di silenzio scorre lento, senza centro né principio. Cosa avrei visto del mondo senza questa luce che illumina i miei pensieri neri. Trova l'anima dentro, scorre lento il tempo di altre leggi, di un'altra dimensione. Scendo dentro un oceano di silenzio sempre in calma.
And so let us continue our journey by closing our physical eyes, opening our subjective senses, remembering that the eternal spark in our hearts is connected and nourished. Joy, the frequency of joy, radiating from our centers and into outside. And we are back on the shore of an island in the Nile. It is still early in the morning. The wildlife is slowly waking up. Around us, the insects are buzzing about blossoming flowers. Thick foliage of leaves is dancing under a gentle breeze. And we hear soft splashing of the water from somewhere below us. And we realize that we are seated in some kind of a giant nest positioned on the high branches of a tree. Slowly standing up, we take a look around. Above us and around us are flying the swallows, singing in their characteristic voice. As we observe their playful interactions, we get a glimpse of a larger bird that is circling high above. He pushes a cry and he starts spiraling towards us. And we realize we are in the presence of the god Horus, the wise one. The crown on his head leaves no doubt. He slows down his flight and is now hovering just at the level of our position on the tree. His large wings upholding him as he locks his penetrating gaze into our eyes. What do you love the most? He asks. What do you love unconditionally? There is no wrong or right answer, of course. Horus, the becoming one, is guiding you on this next step of the discovery of the future. Allow your answers to flow without judgment. What do you love? Having heard your answer, the grandiose falcon looks at you with a victorious smile in his eyes. He pushes a cry and lifts off vertically, his swift movement ruffling the leaves and the flowers around you. As the air settles, a falcon feather flies down towards you. And after a circular movement around you, lands gently on your head. Interrogating the sensation that this produces, you realize you are invited to become a bird, a majestic falcon yourself. The Horus feather triggers a transformation. First, your feet change into powerful claws that are now firmly holding the tree below you. Your ankles, your legs are being covered by feathers. Your belly, torso, your back slowly changing form. Your arms and shoulders, neck, your head all the way up to the top feather on your head, which is now your navigation system. You are all covered into feathers. Try pushing your voice through the beak that you now have. How does it sound? Try your wings too. Stretch one arm from your body, then another. Stretch your tail too, expanding and contracting its feathers. How does it feel? Try your eyes. Look up towards Horus, who is flying high above. You can now adjust your sight and choose the perspective. You can see the entire sky with Horus as a small dot. Or you can focus your sight and see the expression in his eyes. And it is time. Stretch both of your wings, lift them up, and slowly bring them down. How does it feel to be lifted in the air? And try again and again. Feel how it is until you feel yourself hovering for longer periods. And then you know you are ready. Use your powerful wings and take off. Take off towards Horus, who is waiting for you to join him. As you do so, he's showing you all kinds of tricks. How to find a warm stream that will bring you up in the air, or how to find a cooler stream which will allow you to plunge downwards. He's showing you how to hover and how to glide. Allow your imagination to carry you and just enjoy flying for a couple of moments. As you mount higher and higher, following Horus' spiraling ascent, you are able to see further down and up the river. It stretches far down into south and far up into north. And you are now so close to Horus that your wings are nearly touching as you synchronize your flight with his. He turns towards you and asks, what is your biggest will? What triggers you into movement, into action? Allow your answers to flow without analysis or evaluation. Just say. As your responses come out of you, the goddess Wood, the great alchemist, in her form of a majestic vulture, flies towards you with in her claws a gift for you, something that symbolizes your answers. And as you contemplate the symbol that you just received, you hear Horus asking his final question. What is your wisdom? What do you have to share with the world and with the people around you in your life? And again, allow your answers to flow, to well up. Hear them and tell them. As he hears your answers, Horus turns towards north and increases his speed until you see only a dot far in front of you. And you know you are to follow. But this time you know how, so you take your time, slowly flying above the Nile and taking in the beauty, the curves of the large body of the Nile. Below you, the lush shores, the fertile lands, the desert on both sides, the villages, children splashing in the water, cows drinking, flocks of white birds. Your sight changes from large panorama to minute details. Observe. As you continue shifting your focus of your sight, your surrounding seem to shift too, and you realize you are flying through a corridor, sort of corridor created by two beings whose love created you. Below you, the river Nile shows as the body of Osiris, looking smilingly up at you. Above, you recognize Isis, her body extended like an arc, and her colorful wings stretching far. She also smiles at you, already celebrating what is to come. Knowing that everything is as it should be, that you are indeed magic, you shift your focus again and notice that you are arriving at your destination. You are flying above buildings and pyramids located on the river bank, and further towards north you can see the delta of the Nile ending in the Mediterranean Sea. You slowly descend towards one particular pyramid, whose sides are covered in a material that reflects the light of the sun. It is this shining structure that is beckoning to you, and you land on its top, where the god Thoth in his bird form as an ibis awaits you. His eyes are full of playful joy as he gradually shifts into his human-like form. He also has a gift for you, something that symbolizes the wisdom that is in you. Allow his eyes to connect with yours as you receive the gift. You too, you change back into your human form. Your head loses its feathers, your neck, shoulders, arms, torso, belly and back, your legs, and finally your feet all become human again. Around you are arranged the 6 symbols. The symbol of your energy, your vibration, your anchor, your will, your love, and your wisdom, all connected to each other into geometries that can be seen only subjectively, and yet having a real effect and impact on reality. You see that you're not alone. As far as you can see, there are a multitude of shining pyramids, each with one or the other of your co-workers, each experiencing this journey on their own and yet living it all together. And standing thus, you realize that all the deities who guided you are also present, lovingly cheering your accomplishments. Isis, Osiris, Anubis, Hathor, Wadjet, Bast, Ra, Nekhbet, Matermut, and Thoth. Send them rays of gratitude. Send rays of gratitude to Egypt. And knowing that you can come back here whenever you wish so. Slowly bring your attention back to your heart, to the eternal light and love that inhabits it and that you inhabit. And as you bring back the attention to your breathing, I will put another piece of music and invite you to open your eyes when you feel ready.
Akram Hazim Wisudim
And of course, write down anything that you might want to record. It would be great if you would like to share what happened and how it happened for you. That is to say, I think you can just unmute yourself and please show your videos. So how was the flight? Still flying, huh?
Maria Cristina here, and
I
thank you. Very profound. I would just share that it was early on made clear for me the importance that together we came. I just want to share my gratitude for our united presence or passage shared. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria Cristina.
For me, it was a magic journey. I am not able to understand all things, and I am not able to remember all things, but it reminds in me deep impressions of birth and resurrection.
Mhm. Thank you, Josette. Yes. Hello.
Hello. It is so difficult to express, to give impressions in words. For me, it was a mix of depth and immense joy, together with playfulness, and together from passing, to the richness of the night, into the birthing day, and flying up. A lot of playfulness, I must say, with the flight, and so deep. Thank you very much. I mean, it's a journey that really transports and transports, and gives a sense of the transformation too. Thank you. A
Thank you.
metamorphosis, yes. And having all those wonderful gods, being there with you.
Yes.
And Ra and Macbeth and Isis with her wonderful wings. And Horus with his wisdom, and even Anubis. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Everybody wanted to be there today, so
Well, I'm going to be there in Egypt in the end of January.
oh
And
wow.
it will be my first trip to go there. And yes, I will be there for the first time. And somehow I have some intuition what is awaiting me there on the inner level.
Mm-hmm.
And this rise of the full consciousness seems to be the core of the Egyptian mysterious class schooling. And to me, it's amazing that when we talk about Isis and Osiris, normally it's only Osiris who is mentioned, but it is Isis who is recollecting the different parts. And it reminds me to the shamanic rituals that we have to die before we rise up to a fuller consciousness.
Yes.
So my question to you would be, am I right in understanding that the pyramids were the places for the initiation and the temples were the places for the schooling?
That's how I see them as well. That's how I perceive them.
Yeah, and then there are the valleys where the kings and the people have been buried, but the pyramids are places for initiation. So you would confirm this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how that is how it feels.
Yeah.
Although the Egyptologists are, of course, talking about tombs when I talk about
Yeah.
But I completely agree with your way of
Yeah. Okay.
describing them. Yeah, the temples and the pyramids. Yeah.
And I think that the book of Elizabeth Hyde is, I suppose, very definite indicative for this understanding.
Possibly. I read it very, I don't remember
The
what.
book of Elizabeth Hyde.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I
But,
think
yeah.
she puts it in that place too, according to my understanding. Yeah. Okay, thank
Can
you very much, Daniela. I would love to have the text. I would love to have it.
Okay. The text of the meditation of the.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll,
it would be absolutely great.
okay. With
Thank you.
joy. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Daniela. It was a very special trip. And I wanted to ask, you mentioned at the beginning that this age of Leo, that's when Egyptian mysteries were founded. Is that right? Just seems to be a very long time ago. I always think about Egypt as something closer to ours.
Yes. Yeah, but there are some researchers, especially esoteric, that place Egypt even further, much further down than 12,000 years ago. So I'm not scholar, but my intuition does tell me that what we know of Egypt now, what we call ancient Egypt now, I would say that would be age of Taurus somewhere. But the teachings and the concepts, the essence of the teachings is coming from way further down the line of time. And plus, my impression, very strong impression, is that the pyramids, not all of them, but what we call the Great Pyramids, and some of other ones actually come from Atlantean times. So it's even further down the line.
Maybe in a way, talking about age of Leo, it relates to origin of Egyptian mysteries as we know it, which comes from Atlantean times. And so in that sense, it's resonates that, it's seeds that's been planted there had to be restored, the restoration of those mysteries and fixing those errors of the past.
Yes. That's how it feels, this journey, to retrieve what we have learned during the age of Leo, maybe 12,000 years ago, maybe multiple of time, 12,000, but it's certain that that's something that we will need now, because that's what DK says is, so in Leo, we learned who we are. We say, I am, to be able to use it or put it in service in the age of Aquarius, right? And that's how I connect these two ages, actually. And a lot of what I've learned about Egypt is about discovering who we truly are. And once we know it, we are useful, basically.
Those were very deep and resonant questions that God's wanted us to respond for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
The cognition for me, the realization, was the all-encompassing love and joy as the journey progressed. As a child, the story of Jonathan Livingston Seagull was very much part of my formative years, and to actually become a bird and fly, and then what was my voice? What was my bird song? Brought a big smile. The ability to keep moving forward. Through infinity, and to participate in the revelation of these mysteries. To take an active part. And the profound joy and gratitude for being here together with everyone on the call. Thank you so much, Daniela.
Thank you. It is such joy to do this. To be together with you and journeying like that all together. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. Again, thank you, Daniela, for bringing that note of recognizing what is essential within ancient legends, connecting with the reality. It's something that we learn more and more, recognizing what is essential.
Is Alexander frozen? Seems so. Okay.
May I ask you, Daniela, whether you are continuing with this type of transferring your knowledge? Yes?
Yes, yes. So the idea is to do it at least every 3 months. I would like to do it every day, but it cannot be. So 3 months, every 3 months. It's so around solstice or equinoxes. Yes.
Okay. And if we answer to the invitation to join this this Zoom call, then we can connect with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
You
right.
have.
Well, I just got an invitation. I didn't know from whom.
Really?
And yeah.
Okay.
It happened.
Great. I love these things.
May I write my email into the chat?
Yes, please
Okay.
do. Or I write my email. It's also.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Much joy and smiles, Daniela, and love.
Love to you. I think that's it for today. Yes, and so the idea would be to meet again in 3 months.
Mhm.
Maybe, because I'm in Egypt in 3 months. So,
Wow.
so maybe it will be a little bit later than 3 months, but yeah.
Great. So have a
Thank
very
you.
good time there.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Have a beautiful evening, day,
And,
afternoon,
Thank you.
whatever comes.
Yeah.
and Merry Christmas.
Oh,
And
yes.
Merry
There's
Christmas, yes,
Oh,
as well.
wow.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Thank you,
Merry
Daniel.
Christmas.
Bye.
Don't want to think about nothing right now, where I am right now. Put the world behind me, all its troubles. Right now, where I am right now, yeah. When I think about the beach, that's my vision of peace. The silence combined with the sun and the sea soothes me. When I fantasize, I'm at sea with the sound of the waves lapping at the shore. Has a profound effect on me. Yeah. I calm down and I pause to absorb what's totally around me. And I promise myself I'm not gonna think about nothing right now, no, not here.
So, dear friends, happy Merry Christmas. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye. How do I stop this? Voila. Bye.
No.